and on Startup Central, we spoke with Rahul Taneja. He's partner at Lightspeed. They've invested in companies such as Sharechat as well as Lenskart, etc. We found out what his outlook is on the next promising sector, as well as what the outlook is on the startup ecosystem and how India looks as an investment destination. Listen in.
If you think about local consumption, there are, broadly speaking, three very large buckets in that. The first is about food. The second is about clothing or apparel. And, the third is about, residences or homes, or in a very loose manner speaking, I would say construction or real estate, right? From our standpoint as a fund, the first two buckets continue to be very rich and very fast growing areas of our economy. Both of them are outpacing the GDP growth in the country. And, therefore, if you were to look at it top down from there, when you think about food, Agritech automatically becomes very important. Now, fact of the matter is that these are not simple markets. The agri supply chain in our country is incredibly complex, and for a reason, which is that historically infrastructure did not exist for easy transportation and exchange of agri goods across the country. Now, over the period of last, I will say, a decade or so, infrastructure has started improving, agri practices have started improving, and therefore we see a unique place for startups to operate in this, either for yield improvement for farmers or for better growth practices, or on the other side, which is on the sell side, which is better availability and pricing of goods moving from farm to your table, right? We have an interesting company called VGrow, which we've invested in, which is doing this for the fruits space in India and exporting. And then we have a company called Velocity, which is doing again the same agri supply chain solution for consumers of the Bharat audience, for vegetables. So we are passionate believers in this, I would say, and we believe this is going to be a long-term journey. We are at the very early stages of that, I would say. So we have at least a couple of decades of very, very high growth activity ahead of us on the Agritech front. The other part that you spoke about was B2B commerce. Now, globally and in India, we are, I would say, almost very big believers in the franchise of B2B commerce.
There have been a number of success stories: Udaan, Razorpay, Sharechat, Oyo, etc. Just walk us through what the investment rationale was in some of those companies, how those investments have panned out for you.
I will say, look, irrespective of what is the successful outcome of a company, I think the investment thesis across companies remains fairly consistent for us. The first and the foremost of it is, who are the people you're getting into business with, right? I think we like to be in business with people who are super passionate about committing a very large part of their life to building a business. Right now, this is not a straight line journey, and therefore you need to be in business with a person or a set of people who are willing to commit, to persevere and go through this, multiple cycles of ups and downs as it leads towards a successful outcome. And in each of the examples that you mentioned, I think that prominently stands out, right? If you take Harshil and Shashank at Razorpay, or whether you take Ritesh at Oyo, I think the most amazing thing you'll notice is that these people have continued to solve the problem in multiple ways over the course of many, many years. At which point of time you start seeing a large value creation happening. The second is, you want to be in a business where the market is deep and growing. And the market is deep does not necessarily mean deep only from a top line standpoint, but enough profit pools should exist in the market. So if you look at hospitality as an example, we know within travel, the hospitality profit pool is significantly greater than the flight profit pool, and therefore the chances that you could create a large value creation outcome here is much better. And the third is, is there a natural trend line or a tailwind which is helping these businesses take off prominently due to technology? And so, yeah, so I mean, in each of these examples, we have used the same sort of framework. When we've evaluated, we've gone in and we've continued to double down on most of these companies.
Okay. What about the outlook then on the entire space as a whole, on new age tech companies as well? We've seen a huge boom in the primary markets. A lot of companies have made their debut, a lot of big hits as well. What have you made of some of the companies that have recently listed in terms of the overall valuation, in terms of the pricing of the IPOs, etc.? Just would be interesting to get in your thoughts as well.
So I would say first, from a macro level, I think there is very clear evidence that our primary markets are maturing and ready to take on a lot more new offerings. Second, when you think about specifically the more you could call them the more new age or digital companies which have done their public listings in the last, I would say, maybe 36 months.